guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nina and this is Nina's Daily Bites. Let me start by apologizing for not being active. I haven't posted in a while, but I hope to be posting a video every single week. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe, hit on the notification button so that you don't miss out on any video that I post moving forward. So guys, let's get right into it. Today we are going to be cooking goat meat wet fry. I always start by boiling my meat. Into the meat I add just a little bit of water and some onions and a little bit of crushed garlic. This is just to make the meat a little bit tender and to allow the meat to infuse the flavors of the garlic and the onions. We are going to boil this on medium heat and allow it to boil for a few minutes. So make sure you cover your meat for it to boil. In the meantime, we're going to be blending our tomatoes. The reason why I like to use blended tomatoes is because it gives a really nice thick stew and the meat gets to have all the juiciness and flavor of the tomatoes. Our meat has been boiling for a few minutes and I think at this point it is ready for the next step, which is the frying. We are going to put it in a separate bowl and set it aside. I feel I should mention that this is my first video to shoot and edit all on my own and on my phone. So guys, kindly bear with my camera. We are going to go in with our cooking oil. Add just a little bit of cooking oil. Then we're gonna add your onions. Let them fry until they're about to turn to golden brown. Just before they turn golden brown, not until they're golden brown. As I had mentioned earlier, I'm still new to editing, but every little bit of what you need to know about making a delicious wet fry is captured in this video, so guys, keep watching. Before my onions have turned to golden brown, I'll go in with my garlic. At this point, you can wait until your onions have turned to golden brown, then add in your meat, but I like to add mine now so that they can all turn golden brown together and the meat can infuse all the flavors of the fried onions and the fried garlic. After adding your meat, you're gonna keep stirring until your onions have caramelized completely. That means they've turned to golden brown, so I'll keep stirring. I'll not leave this because if I turn aside even for a minute, the onions are gonna burn. We are then going to add in our salt, just a little bit of salt. By the way, you can boil your meat with salt or you can add your salt at this point. Now our onions have caramelized completely. We're gonna add our blended tomatoes at this point before the onions burn. Make sure you pour all your tomato in the meat. If you need to rinse the jug, that's still okay. There's no condemnation, guys. We are then going to cover this, allow the tomatoes to cook until they have completely dried. This is where the trick is, guys. If you don't allow your tomatoes to dry completely, they won't be as delicious as you want them to be. You can see it's been a few minutes. It's not yet completely dry as I want it to be, so I'm going to cover this and let it dry completely. It's been a few minutes and our tomatoes are completely dried, as you can see, and the only way to know that is when your tomatoes and your oil completely separate. You can see the oil separated from your tomatoes. That's when you know that your tomatoes have completely dried. So if you don't like spices, you can leave it as it is and add in your coriander, or you can add in spices at this point. I'm going to rinse off my jug and pour in some water so that this water will allow my spices to cook completely and dry the meat to make it wet fry. We are going to stir this, then we're going to add in our preferred spices. I'm going to be using Chuzi Mix, that's just Royco cubes, just a little bit of it, don't overdo it because this also acts as salt. Then I'm going to add in paprika. I love paprika, it's one of the spices that you won't miss on my shelves. And I think I'm gonna add curry powder as well. These are my go-to spices that I like, especially in my meat. We're going to stir this, then cover it and allow it to cook for a little bit until the meat is completely dry and the spices have cooked completely. I forgot to add in the soup from the meat, but that's okay, we can still add it because it's just a small portion of it. It won't affect our meat in any way. Stir it a little bit, then cover it to allow the spices to cook. But you have to keep on checking on it to ensure that the spices are evenly cooked. It's been a few minutes, guys. The meat is now done. I've been peeling my butternut. I want to eat my meat with butternut, but the kids are gonna have their meat with macaroni left over. I don't like macaroni, that's why I'm doing butternut tonight. I've added in my coriander because at this point my meat is done. Just look at it. Look at how yummy that meat looks. Look at it. It's juicy. It's dry but juicy. It's wet fry. This is what wet fry should look like. Wet fry does not have any soup. Just look at this. I've finished peeling off my butternut and I've cut them into small pieces. I'm going to put them in a separate bowl, add my salt and my spices, and for the spices I'm going to be using Royco, and then I'm gonna add my paprika. I'm going to rub them with my hands so that they can marinate, and then I'm going to shallow fry them in a pan and have them with my meat. And this is my meal for tonight, guys. Look at that. Look at that meal. Wow! It's so delicious. It's so scrumptious. It's so yummy. I love it. So that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you tried this recipe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Bye!